So, you're thinking about moving to the Greater Lansing area and you're wondering, what is there to do in the Greater Lansing area when it's raining outside or when it's extremely cold outside and all you want to do is be indoors? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you some of my top picks for things that are extremely unique to the Greater Lansing area, and be sure to stick around until the end, because if you're looking for something to do that's indoors where you might meet some new friends, meet some new acquaintances, the last one is just for you. So I invite you to sit back, relax, because we're going to start this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. And our team, we're a real estate team in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. We get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this channel, people who are looking to relocate to the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. So whether you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months from now, we would love to be able to talk with you and be able to find out your real estate goals. All of my information to contact me is in the description below. You can call me, text me, email me, or feel free to schedule a Zoom. I would love to be able to talk with you face to face and find out about your real estate goals. Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe, or ring the bell for any notifications so that you can be the first to be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And again, just want to let you know, we are the fastest growing channel in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area for all things related to the Greater Lansing area. And what's so helpful to me is if you would even comment and tell me what are some videos that you would like to see. Would you like to see another East Lansing video? Would you like to see another Okemos video? Would you like to see another video of me risking my life to go on the roads? Let me know in the comments below, and I take your feedback to heart. So feel free to drop a comment as well. Okay, so before I get into my list of things to do indoors in Lansing, I do want to tell you how I came up with my list, because the list is things to do in the everyday in Lansing. There's a difference between things to do in the everyday and things that you could do for events. So if you looked at my top 5 Lansing gems, you would see that one of my top 5 things to do in the Greater Lansing area is the Wharton Center. And it is indoors, right? But it didn't make the list. And the reason for that is because you can go to the Wharton Center within a 2-week span here or a week span here, depending on what national touring company is coming here. Or there might be a concert, it's a one-night concert or one-night event. So I'm kind of featuring Wharton Center, but I'm not really, in that, that's the reason why Wharton Center didn't make the list. I also didn't feature restaurants because a lot of places have restaurants, right? But I did want to feature the things that are in Lansing in the everyday, the different chains that are here, and for you to be able to be well acquainted with them so that you know what to do on a rainy day or an extremely cold day. So the first thing I'm going to get into, and this is the thing I'm going to take the longest period of time on because there's a lot of info here. I kind of categorize things. I'm not going to state one place and talk about it for a while. I'm going to categorize some of these things and then kind of list them out, okay? So the first thing I'm going to cover are the museums that Lansing has. And there are a number of them. Now, comparing it to big city museums like Chicago and New York, are they on that caliber? No, they're not. But for the size city that Lansing is, we do have a number of great museums. The first one being the Michigan Historical Museum. Since we are the capital of Michigan, and again, this is a review to you, Detroit is not the capital of Michigan. Lansing is the capital of Michigan. So because we are the capital of Michigan, we get the perks of all things Michigan. So there is a 4 or 5 story museum in the downtown area where you can look at all things Michigan. It talks about the history of Michigan from the Stone Age up into the present. It has a spot for, there's a lot of Native American history in our area, so there's something for that. There's a section that shows the progression of houses in Michigan. They even have inside of a 1950s house kitchen with the retro appliances in there. They have stagecoaches in there. They even have, and this thing is pretty cool, they even have moon dust that was given to them from when the astronauts first went on the moon. They gave moon dust to each and every state and is located at the Michigan Historical Museum, Michigan History Museum. The one thing I will tell you, one tip, is that on Sundays, it is free to go there. So if you're kind of like, I don't know if I really want to go there, well, if you don't want to spend any money, you can go on Sundays for free. But a lot of people love going there. There's some interactive exhibits for people of all ages there. The second museum this is also in the downtown Lansing area, is the R.E. Oldsmobile Museum. What's so significant about Oldsmobile? Well, Oldsmobile was birthed. It sounds like it's a kid, right? So Oldsmobile, so let me reverse this. Lansing is the birthplace of Oldsmobile. There you go. So Lansing is the birthplace of Oldsmobile. And so they have a complete museum dedicated to antique cars and transportation. So you go there, you can see some classic cars. If you're a car lover, you will absolutely love it. So another great museum there. Another museum that is in the downtown area is the Impression 5 Kids Museum. And it's a science museum. I say kids, they don't call it the Kids Museum, but it is really more so a children's museum. And this is the place that I probably frequent the most because I have 2 small kids. The thing that's kind of cool about Impression 5 is that you can get a membership there for an entire year. And depending on the type of membership that you get, it can be used towards other museums throughout the country. But honestly, like for the size city that Lansing is, I feel like we have a very respectable children's museum. There's a huge water table area called Flow that you can go to. There's a rotational exhibit on the first floor as well that rotates every few months. And then you go to the upstairs and it's huge and open with just a bunch of science experimenting things you can do. There's a huge bubble area. There is a little toddler area where toddlers can play and they have their own little water table there. And then they just had a new exhibit called Megawatt that they did. And then they have a dark room. I forget what the name of the exhibit is called, but it's basically dedicated to space. I think it's called Spectrum, I think is what it's called. And they just have a bunch of cool little sciencey things in there. And it's a good way to just be able to spend a couple hours. There's even like one of those huge mouths that is open with teeth that you can use like some little flossers on, and a little grocery store area that you see in some children's museums, and a building area. So again, when it's for people of all ages, I truly mean it. And they also have, I don't want to forget, they have a machine that you can pitch it's a tennis ball, it's not a baseball, but you can pitch a tennis ball and it shows the speed. It has basically like a speed radar there to show how fast you can pitch. I think that's kind of cool too. So those are the main museums in the downtown Lansing area. Then you also have museums in the East Lansing area. So you have the Michigan State University Museum, and that's a free museum. Right now, in 2024, they're closed for 18 months making renovations. It'll reopen in the beginning of 2026, I believe, but it's just a rotational museum that has many exhibits with arts and technology and science. So that is there, located on Michigan State campus. They also have the Broad Art Museum, which is on the main street on Grand River Avenue. The Broad Art Museum, I feel, is kind of cool because the outside just has such a cool contemporary structure to it. In fact, Batman vs. Superman, which was a movie that was released a while ago, like over 10 to 12 years ago, Lex Luthor's house the interior of the Broad Museum was inside the Broad Art Museum, which was kind of cool. So watching that movie, I could even see some local state politicians that were in there. I'm like, I know this person when I was watching that movie. So the Broad Art Museum is a free exhibit that has rotating art exhibits that you can go to. And then there's also Abrams Planetarium, which is located on campus. And they have weekend shows, Friday night, Saturday night, and then a couple shows on Sunday where they show you a planetarium show. And there's a minimal cost to it. I think it's like $5 or $6 a person to be able to go, but it's another thing to be able to do if it's rainy or it's cold outside. All right, so we're past the longest part here. So a lot of museums that we have here in the Greater Lansing area. The next thing that we have in the Greater Lansing area are movie theaters. Now, I know that lots of cities have movie theaters, right? But people want to know, where's the best place where I can catch a movie, right? So the west side of town has Regal Cinemas. I would say out of the multiplexes that are here, it is one of the smallest. It's the newest place, but it might have about 8 or 9 theaters to it, and it's located in the Lansing Mall in Delta Township. The center of town, closer to downtown Lansing, in Eastwood Town Center, has NCG Cinemas. That's about 18 to 20 theaters, and it has an extreme theater that has upgraded sound and larger screen and some recliner seats to it. And then some of the theaters at NCG Cinemas as well also upgraded their seats, and there are some recliner seats in there too, and you can have VIP seats and pay a little extra for those. Celebration Cinemas is towards the southern part of Lansing, closer to the Holt area. That is similar size to NCG, about 18 to 20 cinemas. It has an IMAX theater, same price as NCG, but they upgraded all their theaters to recliner seats. So every single theater has recliner seats, which I think is cool. So you're guaranteed to have a recliner seat. You don't have to pay an upcharge for that. And then there are other smaller movie theaters. There is Studio C, which I guess could be a multiplex in Okemos. So the one that's gonna be closest to people in Okemos and Hazlet is Studio C. The one thing that's kind of cool about Studio C is they do show some independent films that you wouldn't likely see in a multiplex all the time. So they do have little film festivals there. What's so unique about Studio C is that you can eat your dinner while you're watching. You can upgrade your seat to where you're being waited on, and they can give you popcorns, give you refills. So that's a cool, unique feature, but it only has about like 5 or 6 theaters, I believe. And then there are a couple downtowns as well, one in Grand Ledge, one in Williamston, that have the Sun Theater. So if you're taking a stroll in the downtown of those areas, there's one movie that's going to show for one showing each and every night. But it's a cool feature because it's just, the interior of it gives you a feel like you are stepping back in time a little bit. So many different options that you have for movie theaters. Next thing are bowling alleys. So with bowling alleys, we have some great options for people. So Spare Time Entertainment is one place that it's a bowling alley, yes, but then they've also created an arcade, and they also have escape rooms in there, and they also have laser tag, and they have a restaurant in there as well. So it basically has a lot of things that you can do there, but the main thing they're known for is bowling. They have bowling leagues there. The next place where a lot of people go for bowling is City Limits. I think they still have 2 options, one in Mason, one in East Lansing. And it's strictly bowling, a restaurant, and I believe they have an arcade, and that's it. But people love going there, they like the food there. And then you have Royal Scott, which is located close to the airport. It's the north central part of Lansing. This is the largest bowling alley out of all the bowling alleys in the greater Lansing area. So leagues happen there all the time. Now, they're strictly known for bowling. They have like a restaurant where you can, order some things, but that's about it. But it is a huge bowling alley. It is massive. Now, during the spring and summertime, they have a soccer golf. Is it called foot golf maybe? They have foot golf, they have a golf course. So during the spring, summer months, they also have other things to do on the outside, but they're mostly known for their bowling alley and a banquet center as well too. So great bowling options as well. So that's it for the bowling. Number 4 are options for indoor sporting events, primarily at Michigan State. So you have, especially during the colder months, November, December, January, February, and if they make it into March Madness, most of March, a little bit into April, you have Michigan State basketball, guys or girls. You have volleyball as well. Now, volleyball is a different season, but it could be rainy and you might want to just go to a game. Michigan State has an ice hockey team, and so the ice hockey team, they have their games at Munn Arena, M-U-N-N Arena, and that's where they play. And that's about a 7,000 person stadium that you can view ice hockey at as well. So you do have some options for sports if you're a sports enthusiast and you'd like to watch some live sports. Next thing, our entertainment centers. The entertainment centers in our area, we have some great ones. We have some trampoline parks. I'm not gonna highlight those because again, I'm not highlighting absolutely everything. There are some things that didn't make the list here. But if you're in the west side where Delta Township and Grand Ledge is, in the Lansing Mall, there's a Zap Zone. Zap Zone has some bowling alleys. They also have an arcade. They have a trampoline park. They have axe throwing. They have a rage room. They have go-karting. They have an arcade. Did I already say arcade? I might have, but they have laser tag. So I classify this as a major entertainment center. Now I did talk about spare time entertainment, so you could maybe classify this spare time in the same category as Zap Zone, but they don't have the go-karts. I think spare time was gonna get the axe throwing recently, but like on the west side of town, you have Zap Zone, and that's the premier place. East side, Meridian Township, you have high caliber karting, and that's in the Meridian Mall. And if I were to critique the two, high caliber karting, more for adults. They have their own bar. They have football bowling, where I believe like you just throw a football and like you hit the pins. They have axe throwing. They also have karaoke there, but their go-karting, way better than Zap Zone. So if you're into the go-karting stuff, that's the place to go. The go-karts are a lot faster. They have a Mario Kart sort of game that you can play. A lot of adults and probably older teens go to high caliber just because it's a little bit more of a thrill. But not to say like Zap Zone has some great things as well too. Zap Zone has a bowling alley and high caliber does not. So they both have their pros and cons, but you have one on the west side, one on the east side. Next thing has to do with skating. And I say skating generally because there are two forms of skating. So Lansing area only really has one premier roller skating rink, and that is Edgerew Skating in Holt, Michigan. I do feature that in my Visiting Holt video. And it's open nights and weekends, tons of birthday parties there, but it's a great roller rink. Tons of people go there, and especially in the winter months when everyone is just wanting to stay indoors, that place can be jam-packed, especially on a Saturday when all the birthday parties are happening, or Sundays. And then you can also do public ice skating, okay? Now there's outdoor ice skating rinks. I'm not gonna feature those because we're talking about indoor stuff, right? So the one public ice skating rink that's the most popular is the East Lansing Big B Ice Cube. And there are certain hours that they are open to the public where you can ice skate. So that is another option for you as well. Number 7, the next thing has to do with escape rooms. Escape rooms. I don't know if you've ever done an escape room. I've done a few. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't, but they're a great option to be able to have if you can't figure out anything else to do especially on a weekend night. And Lansing definitely has a lot of escape room options. On the west side, there's a place called the Pod Escape Rooms. You have Escapology, I think that's how you say it, at Spare Time, the entertainment place. And then you also have Breakout Lansing. That one I believe would be the premier one in the area, and here's why. There's one escape room in there that has been nationally ranked as one of the top 10 hardest escape rooms to do, and it's called the Zombie Apocalypse. Breakout Lansing is closer to the downtown area. It's closer to Frandor Shopping Center is where it's located, and they have rotational escape rooms. So it's definitely an option for you if you're into escape rooms and in for a challenge. There are plenty of options to be able to do that in the greater Lansing area. And then finally, last but not least, I'm on the last one. This isn't gonna be for everybody, but I feel like because of the trend of it growing in popularity, it might resonate with more of you than what I think it would for some of you, if that makes sense. So the last one is indoor pickleball courts, okay? Number 8, indoor pickleball courts. Why do I bring this up? Well, in the greater Lansing area just a couple months ago, they opened up at one of their gyms 12 pickleball courts. It's at Court 1 North, and it's a gym that you have to have a membership to, but it's a way for you to be able to make friends. Now, I know that there's outdoor pickleball leagues that are for free. Maybe some of them you had to pay a price for if you're gonna enter tournaments. And there's a number of pickleball leagues throughout the greater Lansing area and Delta Township. And there's gyms that have maybe about 3 or 4 pickleball courts. Well, the people who own Court 1, there's 2 Court 1 gyms. One is in Okemos, which is strictly dedicated to tennis. So if you're a tennis player, you can play tennis at the Court 1 Okemos. Pickleball is the other one Court 1 North is the other one that's located in close to Eastwood Town Center. And that one is where they decided to invest into taking out some of their basketball and some of their tennis courts and making it into 12 pickleball courts. So they created this entire league with its own store, and I'm telling you, whenever I stop by there, it's packed all the time. Again, you have to have a membership to be able to go there, but if you're looking for a way to be able to make friends or to be able to get to know people who might be like-minded like you, I find like pickleball can just bring people together. And I played it a lot during COVID, and that was when you had nothing else to do and you had to be outdoors. Like that was just a fun thing to be able to do. And ever since then, during COVID, like I feel like it's just increased in popularity. So you might want to check out Court 1 North in Lansing, where they have the premier indoor pickleball facility for Lansing. So that's all I have here right now for things to do indoors in the amazing city of Lansing, Michigan. Maybe there's something I missed. So if you feel like there's something I missed, drop it in the comments below. Also, as a reminder, please in the comments below, tell me whatever video you would like to see. And also like, subscribe, or ring the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to be notified when a great video of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. Also, if you are looking to move to the area, and even if it's 8 or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you. So call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom call with me. There's a link in the description below, and my phone number's in there with all my contact information. So reach out to me anytime. And until next time, everybody, make it a great day. Take care.